In our first episode, we discussed whether access to technology is a human right. In our second episode, we discussed the effects of not having technology. And in this third and final episode, which will complete the trilogy, we will be discussing the effects of having technology. However, it is important to note two things. The first is that the age of imperialism has long ended, but its presence is still felt. It was once said that things don't just disappear. They change and change and change. The second thing to consider is the definition of digital colonialism. Digital colonialism can be defined as the use of digital technology for political, economic, and social domination of another nation or territory. In the 21st century, the tools of power have changed. Colonies once carved by maps and armies are now shaped by cables, servers, and code. Welcome to the era of tech colonialism, where digital empires may be replacing physical ones.
When we talk about tech colonialism, we are talking about control. Control over data, over platforms, over the infrastructure that connects the world. The global south often consumes technology, but rarely owns or governs it.
Services hosted in Europe, to social media apps owned by US giants, much of the global south's digital life flows through servers they don't control. In fact, nearly 90% of the world's cloud infrastructure is owned by just a few companies headquartered in the global north.
There's a digital dependency here. Nations in Africa or Latin America are not just using these tools, they're locked into them. It's not just about access, it's about agency.
But change is on the horizon. Initiatives like Africa's Silicon Savannah are pushing for locally owned tech solutions. Still, the global south's digital sovereignty remains fragile, especially as AI and surveillance tools begin shaping governance and economies. In a connected world, infrastructure is power. The question remains, can the global south build its own digital future, or will it be built for them? Unlike with historical colonialism, resistance does not have to be deadly. Technology is primarily governed by English-speaking companies, thus non-English-speaking countries have a harder time resisting. An article by Toussaint Nothea suggests creating terminology and having it be adopted as a means to resist technological colonialism. However, I think this is the weaker of the two solutions presented. Rallying public opinion as a force to change public policies is the most effective strategy presented and is backed up with evidence. In 2015, Indian protesters managed to push back against digital colonialism in an incident involving Facebook. Supporting movements like these will make it easier to make change in these countries and help prevent the rise of these digital empires. Digital age and have digital problems. Access to technology and the effects of its presence and the lack of it are varied with their pros and cons. Promoting the proper management and provision of technology is the best method to ensure that technology is provided, limited as a means of control, and ensuring people are given better opportunities.